Imagine you are the last survivor after a crash landing in your ship, abandoned to fend for yourself on an alien planet situated in a massive underwater volcanic crater. This world is far from home, and you have little to no idea on what inhabits these vast oceans. Your only choice is to explore, gather, and survive. Good luck. The Subnautica Steam page boasts an overwhelmingly positive recently reviewed score, with over 96% of new buyers recommending the game to others. So what exactly separates this survival game out from the rest of the herd in the genre? Simply put, fear. But not any old fear like we see in games like DayZ. Subnautica plays on an ancient primal fear called thalassophobia. Thalassophobia is defined as a phobia of large bodies of water, the vast emptiness of the sea, and the fear of distance from land. The game places you, the player, within an endless void of unexplored ocean, with only the small confines of your life pod to stand on, with some resemblance to land. The PDA, or Personal Data Assistant, is your lifeline for survival. It has rebooted in emergency mode and holds a corrupted databank of information about planet 4546b on which you have crash landed. You are tasked with exploring this massive world through scanning flora, fauna, and objects of interest that you come across, piecing together the PDA databank entries. Now you might be thinking, Tommy, this sounds like another boring micromanagement survival game that I'm already falling asleep from. But let me tell you, Subnautica is a far cry from a lullaby song. You begin your game in an underwater biome called the Safe Shallows, from which very few risks are presented to the player. From here, you can learn the control mechanics and crafting system at your own pace. The story is ingeniously interwoven with the need to go deeper and gather more intricate materials in unknown territory. This is where the game shines. It blends the fear of the unknown with the need to survive within a very stress-inducing environment. One where you need to be mindful of predators, oxygen, food, and water. I've sat my friends down to play Subnautica with me, and they've began by laughing at how cartoonish the game looks and how easy it is to swim around mindlessly. But as they began to care about their characters, and they were forced to swim to deeper, uncharted waters where you can only see your flippers faintly flicking in the inky black void below you, they were genuinely scared and at times unable to carry on playing.
What the hell is that thing there? Oh my god. Is it behind me?
No.
You bastard. I hate you.
Hamish, come on, you got to go to the bulb zone.
My feet, you should see my toes.
You're sweating so much, I can fucking...
What the fuck is that?
Don't worry.
I think this is possibly one of the scariest games I've played. I'm here, I'm in the bulb zone.
Yeah.
No, I'm fucking off.
Alright, fine. Okay.
I think it's behind me anyway.
Now, the music makes it sound like there's going to be some fucking horrific jump scare, I promise. Those are eels. Okay, they're fine. They're eels. Electric eels. Alright, they're fine. Don't worry about them.
Will it eat them? Whatever's coming?
There's nothing coming. Look, just go towards that. Go towards the wreck. Okay?
This is like really fucking me. I can't see anything.
It's because it's dark. Look, the moon, that's the moon up there. Alright.
How do I make it lighter?
Just go point at the target, point there, and just keep going forward, alright?
Okay.
Just keep going forward.
And my lights on or off?
Your lights are off. Subnautica for me is a constant barrage of facing your thalassophobic fears and dipping your toes in the literal and metaphorical water until you feel somewhat ready to see what's lurking below. The sound design adds to all of this too. Listen to these audio samples of me in various locations and tell me they don't split you with both the desire to explore where exactly they're coming from and the fight or flight need to run away for safety. Graphically, the game is really stunning in my opinion, especially with the filmic preset, which darkens the oceans further, adding to the suspense and atmosphere. The textures are detailed, the lighting is extremely atmospheric, and the world models are incredibly well placed. You can honestly see how the game world was designed to coincide with concept artists' visualizations, but also real life locations. For example, flora and fauna is portrayed as accurate and well suited to its corresponding biome. You'll never see something out of place or immersion breaking. You're constantly submerged within a world that could almost exist in reality. Amongst the fear of predators, awe of exploration, and panicky need for sustenance and resources are some moments of observing the true beauty of the game. The sun rises and sets with a full day-night cycle, adding to both the danger and wonder within Subnautica. As a final point, before I move on to my spoiler warning for the storyline, you're probably wondering just how much playtime you can get out of a single player game like this. For me personally, I've played 75 hours and it's been worth every single penny. My first playthrough lasted about 30 hours and it actually closely mirrored with Sacriel's playthrough progress as well. Together, we were both completely addicted to this oceanic world that never seemed to stop giving amazement and adrenaline in one single bite. Each time I delved into a new territory I'd never seen before, my jaw dropped and the music played into my feelings of wonder perfectly. I felt like a truly intrepid explorer, finding and documenting unseen areas of planet 4546b. And at times like this, I was completely devoid of any feelings that the developers had crafted this part of the map, and it was just a game. I was actually there, in this mad alien seascape, flashlight in hand, travelling further from my life pod and diving deeper into more unknown locations. These golden moments, alongside the excellent developer attention to detail on immersion, is easily enough to buy this game alone. Even if you've seen all the YouTube celeries like PewDiePie, Markiplier and Jacksepticeye play this, it's still worth the plunge honestly. I watched Frankie's playthrough a few years ago and Sacriel's experience on Twitch for a while before I bit the bullet, and even with all that knowledge, the game still made me shit the bed. So with regards to story design, I'm not going to completely ruin it for you guys by revealing every major event in detail, but I will go over minor plot points to help you decide whether the game is for you or not. The story is set up in a sort of Grand Theft Auto style, where you have a huge sandbox world to explore and the option to delve into story missions if you so desire. More often than not, you'll need to complete story objectives in order to gain new resources, equipment and blueprints to craft fancy gadgets and vehicles. While this can feel somewhat limiting, the general story flow can actually be disrupted by the player's organic exploration. See, the majority of the story events in the early stages revolve around discovering other life pods scattered across various biomes after the Aurora crash. However, when you're exploring at your own free will, sometimes you'll discover these life pods without being told to go out and find them. It's quite clever really, since the system is dynamic and operates on the basis that if you've already been to a story location, you won't be asked to repeat things that you've already done. The story asks you important questions about the alien installations that have been dotted around the planet. What exactly caused the Aurora crash? Who this alien race is, and whether you'll ever be rescued by the Altera Federation. It expertly combines horror themes like the fear of abandonment, isolation, entrapment and death with the natural human inquisitivity, this sort of need to get to the bottom of mysteries and find answers to questions we're burning to understand. As this review draws to a close, I wanted to quickly get you guys hyped up for the upcoming Subnautica expansion, which is called Below Zero. It's just been officially announced on its own little spot on their website, alongside a Trello board which features many development milestones and spoilers about the expansion's creation. As a quick look at the kind of things we can expect from the expansion, I'm going to skim over the less important parts and focus on the main juicy details. Firstly, we're seeing 3 new vehicles arriving: the hover bike, the hover pad, and something called the sea truck, which looks to be like a kind of combination of the Cyclops and Seamoth. Of course, we will also be treated to some new biomes, as you can see on screen now, such as the twisty biomes, which look fucking breathtaking, and the lily pads. I also believe the expansion map is a third of the size of the official Subnautica map. This of course being down to the fact that this is just an expansion, not an entirely new game. However, the biomes look incredibly detailed and like they will feature new gameplay ideas and possibilities. It hasn't been fully revealed, but we're also getting a new Leviathan, which has been teased at the bottom of the website here, which looks pant-shittingly awesome. New land-based objects, as shown here. Penguins! Yes, penguins, I bet you're sold now. A lily pad creature, which looks absolutely mad. Something called a glow whale, which will likely replace the reefbacks. And rock punchers, a creature similar to the sea treader that was originally abandoned due to engine issues with terraforming, but it's so awesome to see that they'll be making it back into the expansion. And lastly, it looks like we're also getting dynamic weather effects too, which is only going to add to the atmosphere of the game. I'm honestly really looking forward to getting my hands on this frozen version of Subnautica. It's shaping up really icily and the devs have been putting in a lot of work. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my 2018 review of Subnautica and I've somewhat translated across my love for this game through my commentary. The game might not be for everyone, but as an avid Arma 3 player, DayZ fan and the occasional dabbler in micromanagement games like Prison Architect, this really appealed to me. I hope I've helped you narrow your decision down and I look forward to hearing your guys' thoughts and questions in the comments. Take care and thank you for watching. Tommy out.